Did you know that menopause can last 10 years, up to 10 years, maybe even over 10 years, and it can affect every part of your body? So, from the early days of when I started the menopause to now, I've been in the menopause, officially in the menopause, for 8 years. Sometime after my 50th birthday, I've documented in a previous video, my doctor took me off my combined pill that had been keeping all the symptoms at bay, and put me on the progestin only pill. And when I had the test done, because I was having all these symptoms, they thought I was perimenopausal, but no, I was slap bang right in the middle of the menopause. So I went from nothing to everything. And it's interesting that, even as part of that journey, the symptoms that I was aware of that I had and was experiencing, so much more has come to the forefront about the menopause and menopause symptoms. If I give you a log of everything that I suffered with at a point in time: brain fog, brain focus, slightly irrational, emotional, my skin, it was either dry or it was sore, or I was coming out in rashes. I seem to have more sensitivities. I've always had what I thought was a gluten and a dairy intolerance, but I've always sort of, tried to eliminate them. But there are the occasions when, you're just going to have a little bit of a blowout, and you're just going to eat something. To then, at times, my eyesight, due to the brain fog, or due to actual tiredness as a whole. Whereas before I used to think, oh yeah, I can get by on 6 hours sleep, 6.5. The minute I start getting down to 6 hours sleep, I am wiped out the next day. I can go through all the motions, but I'm not going to do anything great and dynamic in terms of structuring projects, deadlines, or anything like that. I'll just get myself through the day because I know I need a good night's sleep. So this little thing up here needs more sleep than it ever did before. I would say 7.5 hours does me well. If I get 8 hours, I start to wake up naturally anyway. So I always know, got to give myself a good 7.5 hours, and then I'll start waking up from that. So obviously there was the sleep. Then there was the weight gain. Unbelievable weight gain. For someone who was jogging 2-3 times a week, for someone who always did a little bit of intermittent fasting. And I've done all types of intermittent fasting. I've done the 5-2, I've done the structured day ones, I've done the 48-hour to 72-hour fasting. I've sort of tried it all. So I've always had an awareness of food, an awareness of the body, and what I could do to sort of help benefit myself, because I never really wanted to cut everything out. I never really wanted to do without excuse me. And there's the allergies coming through. So I would try all these things. I always did my research. I always looked into the science behind things. I looked into case studies. I looked into what people were saying, why it wouldn't work, because just to try and keep myself informed on both sides of things. So obviously there was that. So that's all down to the weight gain. Then I had the aches. Not only did my joints ache, so my knees, my ankles, my arms, my shoulders. One of my shoulders, I get that stiff shoulder syndrome. Not as bad as some people I work with who've had to go down a medical route with it. Or you'd be lying in bed and I wouldn't be able to lie on my side because my hip would hurt. And all these things sort of come to the fore. And then there's the backache as well. And there's the inflammation, where I was feeling bloated all the time. I got a really puffy face. My cortisol levels seemed to increase. And god damn it, there didn't seem to be anything I could do to work out holistically how I can manage all these things. I personally went down the route of HRT, and I know that's not for everybody. And I'm here to support anyone and everyone as part of their journey, no matter what that is. So it doesn't have to be, a medical route. It might be something you want to do naturally, and that is fine. But I did find, when I went down the medical route, I would say initially 80% of my symptoms just went, and it was fantastic. Although I still couldn't lose weight, I was still bloated. um the aching joints eased. The brain fog would come and go, and I'd know. That's the funny thing about brain fog, and I don't know if you're the same. Do you find you wake up in the morning, and by the time you get out of bed, brush your teeth, start getting ready for the day, you think to yourself, oh, it's going to be one of those days. I'm just not gonna, I'm just not on it. I'm just not with it. Or is it when you get into the office and you sit down, I'd open my calendar up and I'd think, okay, I've got a list of things to do on my to-do list, right? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to structure my day? And I couldn't even formulate the thought of how I was going to structure my day. As bizarre as that sounds and as simple as that is, I just again would have to think, right, I got to get through the day. I've got to get through the day. I maybe need to get some more sleep tonight, and we'll see how tomorrow is. And it was very much a reactive thing where I would just manage it on a day-to-day basis. I'm still on medication. I take the more bioavailable medication of estrogen creams now rather than a pill. And that's a whole topic in itself, which I'll share another day. I have found if I get my doses right for everything, I don't get the hot flushes through the night anymore, which is such a relief, because waking up in the middle of the night and you wake up with quite a start to find that you are dripping wet and damp clothes stuck to your skin from your shoulders all the way down to your ankles. And I am not a person that perspires easily when I go to the gym or do exercise. So to wake up and feel that, then you push the covers back, get yourself out of bed, and you're taking these sticky, horrible clothes off you, putting on some dry ones and putting on dry ones, and the relief straight away from having something dry on your body, to then having to find a towel to put on your side of the bed so that you could lie on it, because obviously your bedding is damp. But it's now 1 o'clock in the morning and your partner's asleep, and you can't go waking everybody up just because you maybe need to change the sheets and things like that. So yeah, it's been a bit of a ride. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. It still continues. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to totally be able to wake up and think, yeah, I'm in control of this now. I just wake up every day and think, right, what's today going to bring? And I just try and remain positive and talk about it. So I'm jumping on here to share my thoughts, and if you want to put any comments in, tell me, let me know about your journey. I love to have a sense of community. I love us women talking about it, whether you are like myself and you're taking HRT, or you're not like myself. Just love to hear about your journey and how it's all going.